And when people have a meeting with you, you should always leave them with your intent. So your intent when you meet a business owner should be bring more leads. They should have that kind of feeling that, okay, I know that when I give Frank my money, that he's going to go to the marketplace and he's going to promote and advertise my business on my behalf, and he's better qualified to be able to do X, Y, and Z for me. So it's going to bring me more leads. And more than just leads, if you want to provide more value to your business owner, you can actually qualify the leads for them. So now you start to move from lead generation into lead conversion. But lead conversion does require an extra set of delivery. Once you get that lead, like I know Josh has a campaign to get app downloads for a business owner right now. So he can get that traffic there, but he can't necessarily deliver on the app delivery. So it's all about what more can you do to take that extra step to let them know, hey, this is why we charge a little bit more. The intent that the business owner should get from you is whenever they market every single time with you and your business to the marketplace, that you're going to come to them and be able to account for every single penny. So who here is maybe not familiar with the metrics of Facebook ads or Google ads or maybe even email marketing? How many of you guys have never, ever seen the back end of something like that?
I've seen Facebook, that's it. I haven't seen Google ads or any of the other stuff.
Be glad.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Formerly certified when Google first came out with their certifications, let me tell you, it was much more confusing then than it is now.
Really?
And then the reason we bring that up is because
a lot easier now. Wait.
There's so much out there. Like I can tell you where people are watching this in the world. I can tell you their demographic, their age, and you can even go to the marketplace and go to Facebook and say, Facebook, I want to send a very, very detailed message to a very, very specific audience. And Facebook's going to say, okay, here you go. Here are these people. And now Facebook has done their job. But that business has to start marketing their message to that audience. And maybe the person who's doing that now isn't the best person to handle that. Like the business owner who's running restaurants, they might be better at business-to-business deals or working on operations, but marketing might not be their strong point, and they're struggling with this. And everybody on this call, we can provide them value by helping them bridge the gap between their brand's message into the marketplace. And once you bridge that gap, that's where you're going to get money and revenue coming into their business.
Can I add on to that, Frank?
Absolutely.
It's interesting that you almost said spit. That was the first thing that I thought of. Is there's two ways to market. Spit into the wind or spit into a spittoon. Does anybody know what that is? I told you guys. I told you I'm old. So here comes some of the old stuff. In the old country West, they used to have these things that the guys that used to chew tobacco would spit into. They were called spittoons. Okay, this little bucket about this big. The hole on the top was only that tall. You had to get it in to that little hole if you wanted to make sure that that's where you were spitting in. Okay, so there you have it right there. You could spit into the wind and spider web and make a complete mess of things, or you can spit into a spittoon and hit it every time. And that's marketing. If you wanted to do it right, the way Frank was describing it, we have people out there, I can tell you right now, because I see them every day. We have people out there that are trying to do marketing campaigns for businesses. Not only are they hitting the wrong demographic, they're putting out the wrong message. They're putting out the wrong branding. They don't most times have a branding strategy. Frank will teach you how to get all of these four in alignment, so that you can make sure when you approach somebody, you know exactly what to ask for to make sure you know what their brand is, what their message is, who their demographic is, and then you can execute and make sure that you're bringing them the exact kind of people that they want.
Absolutely, man. Really appreciate that. And that's really where we get into the nitty gritty of what marketing really is. Good marketing is just getting very, very specific. And once you start kind of letting the business owner know of how you can target people who voted this way or who voted that way, or maybe six-figure earners or people who are homeowners or whatever that looks like, once you start to relate that to your business owner or someone you want to provide marketing service for, they're going to see the value in that. But even more so if they're already advertising. Let's say they're doing billboards, magazines, newspapers, any of that marketing, you know for a fact, without a shadow of a doubt, that they don't get the metrics that you do, and the metrics that you have are uncomparable. There's just no way that they can see what is the cost for taking action, what is the cost per lead. They can't see that. And for any business who wants to scale, they need to know this information. They need to know that, hey, when we give our marketing department $1, this is how much money comes back. They can't say that right now. They're guessing at best, and who knows what kind of results that they're getting there. So that's one of the USPs that I provide when I talk to a business owner about providing digital marketing services like that. But to really hammer that point home, I always say, look, I'm offering you a superior advantage amongst your competitors in the marketplace. I say it just like that. And they're like, what? It's like, yeah, we can target like this. We can do this, this, and this. And then we start to go down our rabbit hole. And here's where you're going to either scare your customer or gain them. And you're going to find this out really, really quick, because now you start to share the techniques and the strategies that you have. So the techniques, they're very similar to the strategies. They never change. Sometimes they do, but the style always kind of stays the same. It'll translate. So the techniques that we're going to follow is build a relationship around the people who are around your ideal client. So who does that mean for us? Everybody in here wants to work with business owners that want to spend money on marketing, correct?
Yeah.
So in order for us to get more referrals of those people, we got to think about, okay, who does that person hang out with? Every one of those successful business owners has an accountant. So I go after accountants like crazy. And those accountants that I connect with, they may not be the best clients when it comes to, doing this, whatever, but I'll cut them deals left and right because they have a whole Rolodex of business owners that they already have a relationship with. And if I can show her some love on some little, $5 an ads, $10 an ad, daily spend, she's going to say, okay, this is something that I should really let my clients know. And I know this person spending X, Y, and Z on marketing already, and they don't know any of this stuff, and they're not getting this kind of service. And that's a strong, warm referral that really opens up a lot of doors for you. That does take some time, and that does take a lot of relationship building and a lot of trust building. So, keep that in your arsenal and as an overall strategy. And you can definitely do something like that and have a few of those people to help further the growth of your business. I promise you that's a strong long-term strategy that'll help you out. You don't necessarily need to focus on doing that right now, but I would make it a goal to try to meet at least one accountant that you can build a relationship with per week and reach out to them, let them know how you can help them, let them know the targeting that you have, because they're accountants, they're not marketers. They need more business. And if you ever meet anybody who says, I'm sure you guys get this a lot, I only work by referral. Who gets this? Or I get all my work by referral. Who's got
you must be poor if you do.
Yeah, I had a contractor tell me that.
Oh, okay. So Frank, let me, because
Yeah.
I used to sell contractors. Okay, so I used to work in a phone room. I sold lead packages, $3,500 to $15,000. We guaranteed them a 15-time return. Can't tell you how many times I ran into those guys that said, well, all my business is referral based. I only get it by referral. So awesome. How many jobs you got running? Well, I'm in between jobs. Doesn't sound like your referral base is too strong there, brother. I got something that'll get you 15-time return on your money that get you a job today. You down? So it's, if somebody sits there and says they've got business by referral, you've got one of two rebuttals. Frank probably knows these already. One is, you mean you can't handle any more clients? You don't want any more clients? Is that what I'm hearing? That becomes a little confrontational. The other one is, well, gee, are you super busy right now? Can you not handle any more? That's inquisitive. Now you're asking for them to come back at you with something else. Now, unless they're just absolutely adamant and just sit there and go, no, I won't do anything else, well, then you're wasting your time. Cut them loose. But for the most part, those are the two questions you want to hit when you get into guys like that.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Yeah, great stuff. Anytime somebody hits me with the, I only work by referral, I say that's dangerous. Because, it really is. You don't have a system. You don't have predictable revenue. Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner, I am offering you a solution to create predictable revenue for your business. Are you interested in a system that is sophisticated, that can do X, Y, and Z? And here's where we start to go into our rabbit hole. And now we start to talk about our tactics, which I'm sure everybody, is really, really interested in. Of course, our tactics are paid ads, Facebook ads, Pinterest ads, you know, and any type of paid ads that we can do, Google AdWords. But then we start talking about emoji marketing. And your business owner is going to say, what? What is emoji marketing? And you're going to be like, you're not using emojis right now? Just kind of like ask them straight up, you're not using emojis right now? They're like, no, what does that mean? Then you kind of say, okay, who do you get emojis from the most right now? My daughter, my wife, my friends, my family. So it's pretty safe to say that you have very positive feelings around emojis. Is that correct? Yeah, absolutely. At 100%. Okay. Well, we can leverage those positive feelings that you and everybody else is feeling around those emojis and get those to create what's called a pattern interrupt. How many people in here are familiar or are not familiar with the term pattern interrupt?
No.
Nope. Okay, cool. So this is my pleasure to introduce this to you. This is a marketing concept that, you know, that really will just get you that foot in the door. Think about a salesman who's knocking door to door, and someone opens the door and they're like, it's a salesman. And they close it on them, but they put their foot in the door. This is the online equivalent of doing that. That'll give you a split second to allow people to consume the rest of your content, which would be your ad. So a pattern interrupt means, okay, I'm on my phone, I'm scrolling on my phone, and I see this emoji. And because I see this emoji, my brain has no choice but to observe it. It's got colors, it's got shapes, it's got things going on, and I'm subconsciously absorbing whatever is happening. So if you put the heart emoji up there, who sends me heart? My mom, my girlfriend, my spouse, you know, all these people. And I associate all of those feelings from that emoji with that particular moment, and I link that to whatever ad is coming my way. And I might not know it's an ad, so I'm just going to be more open to trust this. And if you have the trust, then you can make that sale. So the business owner is going to say, you're freaking nuts, or they're going to say, hey, that makes a lot of sense. I would like to know more about emoji marketing. And this is a new thing that not a lot of people have a lot of resources with. So I am going to hook you guys up with a resource on emoji marketing, so you can kind of just study the different type of emojis. But if you're interested in really just kind of seeing how I use them, you can go to this website, and I'm going to show this to you real quick. Yeah, this is bit.ly/Salas emojis. And I don't know why this thing won't go away, but it'll show you like all the kinds of emojis that I have out there. So like here's one for team, building, income, unlimited, success, dreams. When you use those emojis and you supplement that with the proper words, like if I would put money next to dreams, people would, you know, be like, oh, like my dream amount of money. If their dream amount of money was $1 million, they would subconsciously think about $1 million. I'm programming them and I'm pre-positioning them to be more open to my message and whatever action I'd like for them to take. So I'm kind of priming them. And because it's so new and no one's doing it, people are just, it's like crack. It works like crazy. So try it out, especially use that in your email marketing. And then I always mention to my business owner, you are using email marketing, right? And most business owners aren't using email marketing enough. They're like, no, I heard email was dying, blah, blah, blah. And I just tell them straight up, no, the fortune is in the list. The fortune is in the list because you now have a people who are open to receiving messages from you every single day. So now what we're doing is we're building value. And if you are getting to the point where your business owner is saying, okay, I'm interested, but I don't have enough money, or I don't know if I want to pay you that much, it's because you haven't built enough value. And I like to go really, really deep and explain those emojis and explain the next tactic, which is hyper targeting. Who here has not experienced hyper targeting in a Facebook ad yet? If you don't know what that is, it's when you niche down 4 levels. That's what I call hyper targeting. So I niche down 4 levels. I tell Facebook, I want to market to everybody who likes apples, and I want to market to everybody who likes protein powders from there, and I want to market to everybody who likes Arnold Schwarzenegger. I want to market to everybody who likes all the fitness magazines. So now that's like the prime audience for a supplement or workout gear, because those people are probably really, really interested and more likely to invest in that. So I start to explain those kinds of results to them, and they start to see, okay, there's some value in there. And then I start talking to them about niche marketing, which is the same thing of hyper-targeted marketing. I started talking about organic reach, and then I started talking about chatbots. So a lot of you guys were really interested in this program because of chatbots, and chatbots are amazing. But before we get into them, when I look at chatbots from a big picture, chatbots are a button that you can push that right now throws a crap load of leads your way. Just a whole bunch of leads right now because it's so new and people don't know what's going on. But that being said, those leads have to go somewhere. You have to have some type of product, some type of service, some type of campaign, some way to just capture that information. So the chatbots are great, but they're the start of things. But a lot of business owners don't know what they are, and they're really attracted to those. So here's where I would say, okay, Mr. and Mrs. Business Owner, I would message them just like, so if you guys, some of you guys have got an email that gave you the first steps, and the first step gave you the actual status to post. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Some of you guys got this email and some of you guys didn't. And if you guys didn't, just give me a shout. There's something we gotta take care of.
Hey Frank, what was the bit.ly link for the emojis?
Yeah, it's bit.ly/Salas emojis, all lowercase.
Bit.ly.
Yeah, /Salas emojis.
EMOJIS.
Mm-hmm. Here we go.
Good looking out.
Appreciate you, Taylor.
Thanks, sir.
All right, so some of you guys should have got this, which is the implementation. If you didn't, just give me a shout. No worries. But I want you guys to see this. This is the kind of work that you got to do every single day. Every single day. So this is what that looks like. If you want to reach out to business owners are getting called up every single day, and there's no reason for them to pick up the phone and just hit you up and say, hey, I'd like to give you my money and I'd like for you to handle my marketing. I get a lot of calls from a lot of other people every single day, but I know that you thought about getting into this and I want to give you my money. Here you go. That never happens. You have to go out into the marketplace and you have to earn it. And you earn it by doing the following. And before I get into this, I want to talk to you guys about this phase in your business. If you don't have clients right now, or maybe you're working with clients that, to put it nicely, aren't qualified to work with you. They're, coming in at less than $1,000 per month. They're kind of a pain to deal with, and they have all these problems, and all of their problems are your problems. If you ever work with a bad client like that, you definitely might want to consider charging a little bit higher. And the first way to charge higher is to get new clients, is to get busy. And this is where you do that. So think of this as the lifespan of your business. I started multiple businesses, and every time that I start a business, there's always this ramp up phase, which Mike is going to help me talk about. Mike, what's good?
Half step back. If you're charging less than $1,000, you're asking for trouble. Frank knows that I'm as much as I might be the business etiquette guy, I'm also very blunt. If I sense that a client is not willing to commit, and listen, I'll charge you $5,000, but if I sense one iota that you're looking for an excuse for it to fail so you can ask for a refund, I won't take you. And you can hear it in their voice when you're in the midst of your pitch. So if you're charging less than $1,000, you're short selling yourself, for one. For two, you're asking for trouble. Don't do it. When you're building the value and you're building the relationship and you're doing all of this stuff that you see on the screen here, you're going to get a plethora of people. The one that calls you, the first 5 that call you, try to disqualify them as fast as you can. I know that sounds bad, but try to disqualify them as fast as you can, because you want to know that they understand this guy really doesn't care if he gets me or not, but he's got something that's really interesting. You want them asking some questions to you as much as you're asking them the questions. As in, how does that work? Oh, that sounds interesting. How can I do that? If they're giving you the permission, you can go back and ask more questions. It's a ping pong game, and it goes back and forth. So don't undervalue yourself. Thanks.
Absolutely. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's and we're going to talk about pricing and what the industry rates are right now. in the market, so you can kind of see the value that you bring to business owners. So going back to the daily, this is the fee. So J.J. Watt, who plays for the Texans here in Texas in the NFL, he says, success is lease and rent is due every day. And if you want success every single day, this is your fee that you got to pay the game. So if you're in a position where you have more time than you have money, you're going to have to roll up your sleeves and you're going to have to put this work in. If you're somebody who's in a position where you have more money than you have time, the best way for you to operate your business is to have a lead generation part of your business and just get that handled. So here's what that looks like. You or your team are going to have 30 outgoing Facebook messages. And here's what that Facebook message looks like. And I've already sent them to you. If you don't have this, you will get these. Don't worry about that. But this is what this looks like right here. It's got the emojis in the front, and you message this directly to the Facebook page. So if you are in Facebook, just go to, and let's say you're looking for medical spas. You type in medical spa, maybe you narrow down by location, and you just copy this, and then you paste that. And that's it. Now you got 29 to go. You do that again in whatever niches you're trying to get into. You do that 30 times per day. You're done. Quick note on this one, do not go over. And I'm going to maybe paste it here in the chat so you guys have it. Yeah, and if you guys don't have the email, don't worry about it. I just paste it in the chat for everybody who's here live. If you don't have the email, just give me a shout. I'll get that to you. But yeah, that's the exact script. So even though this is already done for you, the real life is this. You're cold reaching to businesses right now. And when you do cold outreach, 3% is a strong return rate on cold outreach like this. So if you message 100 people, 3 are going to reach back to you. Maybe 1 will agree to an appointment with you. And that's the fee to get into this game right now. And this is just one strategy that you can do to generate that 1 lead. I'm going to show you a bunch of different strategies to kind of get that 3% that maybe might get you that 1 lead to have a conversation with you. So do that on their Facebook business page, and also do this on LinkedIn. So here in a bit, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to have somebody on here get on their LinkedIn, and I want to show you exactly how I would add somebody, how I would message somebody, and establish that relationship. So stick with me, guys. I just want you guys to have the directions fully explained out there and maybe get into the mindset of a business owner so you know what's going down. Everybody still with me?
Yeah, still with you.
Just make sure you don't go over 30 a day. I just got out of Facebook jail.
Yeah, man. So, and then, for those of you guys who don't know what the Curious Student is, the Curious Student is a marketing tactic that's really, really great. What I've done is I've taken that and added emoji marketing on top of that. So what the Curious Student is, hey, I'm a student, I'm learning this, and I'm interested and curious if this is going to work. And I just post this as my status update on Facebook. With Facebook, I would do that once only on that one particular message, and I would do it either at 11 o'clock your local time in the morning or at 9 p.m. evening time. The reason for that is because at 11 o'clock in the morning, everyone's had their breakfast, they're kind of whatever, they're waiting for lunch to get started, they're kind of BSing, they got through all their emails, and now they're kind of just chilling on Facebook, and that's a strong time for you to get your message out there to people that are in your network. At 9 o'clock, everybody had dinner, they got the kids asleep, everybody's in bed, they're probably in bed, looking at their phone, kind of hanging out on Facebook, checking in with their friends, and that's a great time for you to post that up there, and you'll be able to get some people. I got to be really, really honest with this particular strategy. You're basically telling your friends that you're learning something and you're looking for somebody that can afford $5 per day. Best case is you're going to get a paying client, but more realistic, you're going to get somebody to give you a complimentary campaign, and you can take those results and either take that result to a competitor or put that in your portfolio to land future business. So this isn't a bad thing. This is a great way to get that first experience and that first results, which you can then leverage as a case study, as a testimonial, and add into your portfolio to let businesses know with bigger budgets that you've done this before, because they're going to want to, they might want to see this. If you do it right, they're going to be like, okay, cool. You found the right guy. I'm good. I don't need to worry about that.
What if you already have results?
if you have results, even better. I would still do this just because you're going to learn a lot of stuff that you're going to want to try some things out just to kind of get familiar with these strategies. And it could lead to more business. It could just, there's nothing but good things that could come from it. Worst case, you'll get a case study from somebody. Ideally, you want to qualify people and have some conversations, but it'll lead to some paying opportunities. What's that, Mike?
As well, Khalil, even though you already have track record previously, we all know how fast things change.
For sure.
When you go out and you're actually doing like Frank's saying, you'll end up becoming the thought leader because you're going to run into the next challenge and you're probably going to come up with the next innovative, creative solution. So take it as use your past to push your future.
Right. I hear you. I thank you for that. I appreciate it. I have a question. What do you think about business audits or getting business audits done before okay.
Oh man, we don't do that. So this is where I'm gonna delve into stuff. So hang with me, guys. We're gonna get to the advanced stuff for sure. And we're gonna get there, but we're gonna show the business owner like why exactly you should roll with me, like with just mad swagger, mad confidence, and at the end of the meeting, he should feel like you respectfully called him stupid and lazy and just not the best position to be running his marketing. He should feel like, damn, I am the dumbest person to be doing this job. Why am I considering this job? For example, whenever I send out my proposals, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen real quick and pull up something so you guys can see. But yeah, real quick, just we finish this real quick. That's the implementation. If you can do that every single day for 30 days, you're going to have enough people in your pipeline who are going to be qualified, who are going to be referrals, who are going to be building your portfolio. You can build a business with that is what I'm saying. If you literally stick to that every single day, Monday through Friday, for at least 2 weeks or maybe even your first week, you'll have tangible results to be able to start going on to the next part of your business. So when I am thinking about this, as I start any new business, I understand that I've got to take a lot of action up front. I'm going to sift through a lot of leads that maybe don't pan out to anything. So maybe I'll have little bits and pieces like case studies and testimonials and portfolios or whatever that here and there. But all of that will help me lead to that first big deal who's like, all right, boom, this guy kind of knows what they're talking about. Maybe they've got a little bit more swagger when you're doing the presentation. That'll lead to that. But for now, it's all about taking the action. So for anybody struggling straight up, if you're struggling with leads right now and you're not putting this work in, you don't deserve to complain. If you're like, I don't have enough leads, they're not qualified. You haven't put the work in. You haven't taken enough interest in enough people. You haven't looked to see how you can be of value to other businesses. And you're probably thinking, how can I get 5 clients that pay me $2,000 a month or 3 clients that pay me $5,000 a month? You're probably coming from that perspective and they can feel that. And you're not coming from the perspective of, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner, would you be interested in receiving hyper-targeted leads that are really interested in what your products or services have to offer? When you kind of come from that lens, there's no you involved, and it's all about them, their business, their profit, and their clients. When you come from that lens, they have no problem paying you $2,000 per month. They have no problem paying you for the upsells that you offer because you're bringing them more and more money. And I'm always looking for somebody who sees marketing as an investment and never as an expense, because I am not an expense. I am an investment. When you give me $1, I'm probably going to give you $15 to $17 back through whatever medium that we decide to choose on. But does anybody have any questions about the implementation other than maybe you haven't got the email just yet?
I haven't received the email as yet, but from what I see there, you have the time slots of, what you should be doing, which is excellent. But, for me, I work a full-time job right now, for now. I'm wondering how, I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm wondering how would I fit all of those things in, and reaching out to business owners during a certain time and so forth.
Yeah, Mike's got you. What up, Mike?
That's an offline conversation, Khalil. Reach out. We'll talk.
All right, no doubt, man. No doubt.
Yeah, man. And just so maybe we can get you guided in the right way. Just, prioritize like crazy. But if you're really limited for time and you got to get your cold calls in, call from 8 o'clock to 8:30 and call from 6 to 6:30, because the business owner is always the first one there and they're always the last one to leave. And if you're having challenges, maybe reaching the business owner, just call them early and call them late. They'll be like, yeah, I'm the business owner. What's up? What you need? And they're like in that mode where like, yo, I'm trying to get some stuff done. Like I wouldn't be here early and I wouldn't be here late if I wasn't trying to get stuff handled. And I said, look, especially later on in the day, Mr. Business Owner, I know you wouldn't be here late as hell, answering your own damn phone if you weren't trying to advance your business. I know you want to take your business to that next level, and this is a way to do that. Would you like to have a serious conversation about your business, about your marketing, about getting an influx of customers to your business? Yeah, I would like to have that conversation. And that's what gets you set up to go down this next step. So great questions. Any more questions about implementation? I did copy and paste the schedule there. Basically, that's the time that it takes. You could maybe work a little bit faster, maybe 20%, but that's about it. Just fit it in wherever you can, man. Most people have smartphones, and you can do a lot of the stuff from your smartphone.
I got a question about like the amount of value you give. I have two instances where I was talking to my accountant and then also a realtor that I know, and I was giving value. Like, is there a point where you can give too much to a point where they feel like they don't need you anymore? You know what I mean? And also, how do you convert from giving value, just like coming off as like I want to help you, to like, okay, like now it's time to pay me? You know what I mean?
First thing, get rid of the word help.
Okay.
Business owners take offense to that. They don't think they need help. But the way Frank said it, as you give them the proper information and show them that they don't know what they don't know, they're going to ask for the help. At which point you can say, well, here's what we can do. But try to get help out of your vocabulary. That'll kill a sale. Trust me. I've lost big ones on that.
Yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, really, in what we offer, everybody on this call is a world-class expert in social media marketing. Out of the 8 billion people that are on here or in the world, we are all in the top 0.001% of marketing knowledge. We've, got the knowledge. We've got the hours in the industry. We put the time in to where this is a specialty. This is a world-class specialty that we have to offer to the marketplace. And everybody is, maybe trying to compete in the same little world. But once you start to look outside of the world that maybe you might be experiencing, and you start to go to the business world and you're like, okay, these are businesses that have substantial marketing budgets that are paying billboards, magazines, newspapers. I think somebody on here, somebody I talked to earlier, had a business that was paying Yelp $1,000. Another realtor that I met today was paying $2,000 a month to Zillow and only got 6 leads for the entire year for $2,000 per month just to get 6 leads. And they didn't, he's just like, yeah, whatever. It's just the cost. Like there's people out there that are making these kinds of money, that are making these kinds of investments that aren't getting any kind of return. And they're doing well enough that it's not like killing them. And if they work with you, truly, you would be able to allocate their marketing budget, their advertising dollars, and provide so much more return. And that is a value that they need to understand. And, when it comes to giving them value and giving them information, you need to kind of let them know, like, hey, there's a bunch of stuff that maybe you don't know about. And every question leads to another question. So when I say, hey, do you guys want to know how to automate a pixel on a chatbot? What? And it just keeps going and going and going and going. And then you say, look, after a certain point, just kind of say, hey, look, man, I offer consulting. I also offer, done for you services when it comes, when it comes to your deliverables. I do have an agency, X, Y, and Z. Let them know there are ways to work with me. Do you want to have that conversation? And of course they want to have that conversation. They would have already, agreed to that. But it's just like letting them know straight up that I have these services and products available. Would you like more information about that? And now we start talking about direct response marketing. That's what that is. I have this. Are you interested in this? Most people are going to say, yes, let me know more information. So I'm going to go into pricing now, unless we have any more questions about implementation, about schedule, about maybe some techniques on how to generate some leads.
Probably some leads, like how to generate some leads. I don't know if the form that you're sending out would have that detailed in it.
Yeah, we're going to practice that right now. Before we move on to the next segment. So we're done with the discussion of it, and now we're going to have some action. So who wants to be a volunteer? Who wants to open up their LinkedIn? Khalil. All right.
Yeah, let's
So
do
Khalil, go on the bottom. There's a green little circle or a green little square that says share screen. And we're going to be able to see your screen.
Okay, hold up.
And I'm going to show you my LinkedIn strategy. It's boring. It's not sexy. It takes a lot of work, and I pay somebody else $3 an hour to do it. I don't do it myself.
Okay, where do I go again? Sorry.
So on the Zoom screen, there's going to be a like green circle that says share screen.
What kind of people should we be searching for?
Great question. So yes, when you're sending that Facebook message out, you want to send that message out to maybe people that are in your niche or a niche that you'd like to delve into. To give you some ideas, everyone's going after chiropractors. Everyone's going after dentists. Dentists don't even respond to their Facebook because they don't care. They're charging people thousands of dollars through their insurance. So they're like, I'm rich. I don't need to answer my Facebook message. There's no need for me to do this. I'm loaded. I don't need to do this. So what I like to go for is I like to go for people, especially once you're getting started, people that have appointments. Realtors are a good one. And I know that, some people are like, oh, well, realtors are hard and X, Y, and Z. If you can land a realtor, I'll show you some ways to get successful campaigns for them. But you're going to figure out from this training on how to do those very targeted campaigns. So that's here in a little bit later. But restaurants, salons, people who provide services, massage therapists, yoga studios, those are all solid people that are going to respond to you right away, and that maybe they're not the biggest paying client for you right now, but they might be a great case study. They might be a great testimonial. They might also be somebody that you can offer some trial services for. So I'm going to show you a close that I use that still shows my rates, but offers that at a discount for the first few months to run a pilot for them. And, either you get to work with them long term, or they don't see the value and you go that way. So I like those. Those have been the most responsive. If I had to pick the top 3, for me, medical spas, great. If you get somebody in there who's doing medical spas, like I go to medical spa and I'll drop like $3,000, just like that's nothing over there. So I like medical spas. If you get them one person, it's going to be very worthwhile to them. Dentists are good. Chiropractors are good. I like realtors, but I know how to deliver for realtors. Most people don't know how to deliver for the realtors. And I love working with realtors. I love car dealerships. Car dealerships, they have billboards. They have mail outs. They send out mailers. They have existing marketing budgets, and they're a really big pain to deal with, a huge pain to deal with. Like they're so brash, so just, really hard to deal with, but they got the money and they got a product, and everybody needs their product. People need to move around and people need to drive. And Facebook, for those of you guys who don't know, has a targeting metric where you can market to people that are interested in buying pickup trucks, sport cars, SUVs, people who are on other partner websites that were shopping for these websites. So you can go to the car dealership and say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Internet Marketing Manager, I would like to put your products on these phones. They're like, damn, that sounds cool. What's your rates? Blah, blah, blah. Let's talk. Because they're wasting money on billboards and whatnot. So those are the kinds of niches that I like to go after. But at the end of the day, find somebody who has a strong lifetime value for a business. So for the customer. So let's say we are working with a lawyer and their lifetime value per customer, because they specialize in divorces, is $30,000. That is a good person to go after, because if you get them one qualified client, they have no problem working with you and paying you your rate. So always look to see what kind of vessel they have and align yourself with the vessels that have a high profit margin and a high lifetime value per customer.
Awesome. Thank you, Frank.
You got it. All right, Khalil, if anybody has any more questions, just type them in the comments. We're going to go over the LinkedIn strategy right now. So Khalil, you are on.
Yes, I am.
Perfect. So we're going to look for people in your second and third network. And please keep in mind that Microsoft bought this out a few months ago, and they changed this weekly. So things are going to be a little out of place here and there. And they might be different for you in Canada than they are in the US. I'm going to hit pause. All right, guys, we're back with the LinkedIn strategy. We just found somebody who was in Khalil's network, and we're looking for people in our second and third network. So if you look right underneath LinkedIn, you're going to see that second right there. And that second means that one of your friends is friends with this person. And if you hit connect, it's going to, so hit connect. Go ahead and hit add note. So here's where you can add a personal message. Have you been adding those personal messages, Khalil?
No, I have not been.
Perfect, perfect. So go ahead and hit cancel. I'm going to show you one thing that I do. Hit the X real quick. So let's scroll down just a little bit. They might have moved this. Okay, scroll up real quick. Okay, 9, there it is, 9 mutual connections. So what I would do is I would reach out, and I remember I said this was boring, this was not sexy. I would reach out to one of these 9 people, like Peter Boyce. I would say, hey, Peter, I really want to get an introduction to Alan, and I know that you are somebody who's high value. Just kind of give him a compliment in whatever Peter Boyce's industry is, and say, would you mind if I name drop you to get an introduction?
Okay.
And whether Peter responds or not, he's probably going to say, yeah, most people don't check their LinkedIn, but I just did it. Then I will go to Alan and I will connect. So let's go back to Alan on his page. Okay, cool. And I would hit connect. And I would hit send now. I'm sorry, add a note. Add note. And then I would say, hey, I was asking Peter Boyce who was in the fitness industry, and your name came up. You know, just kind of say that. So it's like, oh, Peter Boyce, blah, blah, perfect. And then I would say, by the way, I also went to this college, or we also have these friends in common. Just like let them know that you're cool and that you know somebody, because this is a professional. LinkedIn is a professional networking site. And it's like you're going to really professional people who probably make 6 figures or at least $80,000 a year. And they're professionals that care about their resume and their career. And they're there, you know, networking and exchange information. And they're not going to let you in their circle if they can't trust you. But now you're leveraging the trust of people around you. And now you can have that conversation. And then you can send him that message that we send to business or Facebook business pages. You know what I'm saying? After you develop that relationship with them. You know, this is all about trust. This is all about relationship building, and it takes that time. And this guy, Alan should feel that you took the time to get interested in his business, that you got to have a conversation with him, and that you qualified him to make sure that he was somebody that would benefit from your services. Because if you're like, yo, Alan, I need $5 a day, and he's like, yo, dude, my classes cost $5 a session. I can't afford that. That's not a good fit for him. You know, you need to move with somebody else, and he needs to do some other business things. So that's where you have to spend a lot of time sifting through people, building that relationship and building that trust. And this is another technique and another strategy that's going to get you one of your first few businesses to work with you at that higher level. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Frank.
What up, Josh?
Yeah. So when using this platform, like you're obviously searching for businesses, correct? Or how are you using this one compared to other platforms?
So I use LinkedIn like crazy. It just depends what I'm looking for. So sometimes, you know, once you start to get a little bit deeper and you can provide some service to businesses, I reach out to chief marketing officers and I say, hey, have you guys got the new Facebook chatbot yet? They're like, you know what? I've been hearing about that industry. I say, I do offer consulting in that. Would you like to hear more about that? Here's a video that I did, or here's some results. Here's some screenshots. Here's some testimonials of my clients. And now they're like, oh, okay, this guy's on LinkedIn. I go to his LinkedIn profile. He's got all this stuff. So for those of you guys who aren't in our monthly LinkedIn growth hack, we all jump on a call like this, and we all jump on LinkedIn, and we share our profiles, and we endorse each other's skills. So when somebody goes and checks us on LinkedIn, they see that we are adept in social media marketing, SEO, and those kinds of platforms.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. I hope you don't mind, but I got to start dinner. So I'm going to be listening in and out while I'm cooking.
All right, dude. We'll be here, Mike. Thanks. All right. So that's how you get started. And you got to send out 50 of those a day. And it just takes work, man. And you'll meet somebody who's interested. And it just takes that consistency and that follow up all the time. So
Would we be
the LinkedIn strategy.
Sorry, you have scripting for that?
Yeah, it's in the chat right now.
Okay.
Yeah, the first message is not scripted. The first message is like a genuine connection.
Right.
Say, hey, Alan, I was asking Peter Bryce about anybody in the fitness industry. Your name was brought up. I also saw we went to the same college, or we also have these friends in common as well. Wanted to connect with you. Tell me more about you. Oh, I'm a personal trainer, blah, blah, blah. Awesome, awesome. Then tell them, great, I have a digital marketing agency, and then you send the message that's in the chat with the emojis.
Okay.
So he's like, oh, okay, cool. But it's like that's a template. It's not like a script. So you got to know when to drop it, because he could say, I'm a fitness trainer and I'm having challenges with this, and this. I saw you in marketing. Then you might want to change up that conversation because you don't want to seem like you're spamming it. You know,
Right.
Listen to the response.
Right. Yeah.
But that's it, man. It's nothing sexy. It's just a lot of action, and you will get people that are interested. From there, straight up say, let's jump on a call. Let us have a conversation about your business. And then you start using all the other tactics that you're going to learn out here. So right now we're focused on lead generation, and we're going to move on to the next lead generation. So Khalil, go ahead and open up your Facebook page.
All right, let's do that.
Khalil, what is a niche that you would like to work with?
Man, I guess that's the question, because so things that I've been interested in or that I've thought about have been restaurants, have been
Perfect. Let's roll with restaurants. Let's go to Facebook, type in restaurants in your area. Let's see what pops up. We're going fishing.
Okay. Okay. The thing is, here in Montreal, like, French is huge. You know what I mean?
Even better. Your ad costs are going to be about 50 to 20 or 75% less. This is all great things.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Just type in restaurants in, what was it, Calgary or Montreal?
Montreal.
Yeah, restaurants in Montreal. Because if I was in Montreal, that's straight up what I would type.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. So real quick right here, do you guys see this this arrow, or I'm sorry, these dollars, like the $3 out of $4? You see that?
Yeah.
That right there kind of lets people know how expensive this is. So this is an expensive restaurant, which means they'll have the budget to potentially work with you, and they got a lot of reviews. So they're doing something right. Let's go ahead and hit them up. So click on Restaurant L'Escape.
Yeah, that's actually my wife's friend's restaurant.
Bada bing.
Yeah.
We got it in.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you see that message button all the way on the right?
Yeah.
Click on that. All right, so there's two kinds of people. One person is going to copy and paste this, and they're going to move on to the next one. That person is going to get a lot of stuff out there, and by law of numbers, they're going to get some reaction. The other kind of person is going to scroll down. It's going to look at their posts. It's going to look at their engagement. It's going to look at what they're offering. It's going to look to see what they're doing now. It's going to look to see it at their likes. So go ahead and scroll up real quick. This is what I'm looking at. I want you guys to know what I'm looking at. I see that they have 851 likes. Yeah, going to jot that down real quick.
Yeah.
They have 851 likes, which is kind of low for a restaurant, especially if they're high end and they got all the reviews.
I don't know if they're really. I wouldn't call it really high end. It's like African, Caribbean, food. Cuisine. Yeah, it's not like crazy expensive, but it's not on the cheap side either.
Perfect. I'm looking at the photo and it looks nice. I'm looking at the reviews. It looks like it's a 5-star restaurant. And I saw Facebook told me as a consumer and as a person who uses the platform that out of $4, It's got the $3, so it's in that area. So like to me, this is high end if I'm on Facebook, if that makes sense. So it's always from the perspective of the person using this. So
Okay.
Scroll down and let's look to see what kind of posts that they have. So okay, stop right here. So immediately, everyone wants to know about chatbots. Click on you see this. Typically replies within a day.
Yeah.
When you have a sit down with this business owner, what if you could what if you said this to them? You look them and you're like, if I'm hungry and I'm American and I type in restaurants in Montreal, this is the second one on the list. It's the one with the most amount of reviews and it's kind of expensive. But when I come here and I want to find out more about this because I don't have a Montreal number or whatever or a phone that works there because I'm a tourist or whatever,
Right.
and I see typically replies within a day, I'm hungry now. I'm hungry right now. I want to eat right now. I don't want to eat tomorrow.
Right.
Then you can say, have you ever heard of Facebook chatbots? And now you introduce them to Facebook chatbots. So now we're not getting into lead generation. We're getting into, selling them and offering that service. But that's something that I look for. And if I see that anything, higher than a few minutes or a minute, I can say, I can automate this for you. I can provide a service to your customers who are looking for information. And what that could look like for this business owner is say, look, Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner, when someone sends you a message on Facebook, I'm going to either get them information, get them to your website, get them on your email list, or I'm going to book a reservation right then and there. How does that sound, Mr. and Mrs. Business Owner? Oh, that sounds great. How about this? How about we aggressively try to book reservations from Facebook ads? Well, what do you mean? Well, this is an African restaurant that serves Caribbean food, right? Perfect. I'm going to use my detailed targeting, and here's where you don't have to share anything when it comes to detailed targeting with them. You don't have to share a damn thing, but you can just confidently say that I have very, very detailed targeting, that I'm going to take your message and put it in front of the proper people. And this is what that looks like. I'm going to market to everybody in Montreal who lives within, 5 kilometers. I don't know what that is, but sounds about right. 5 kilometers, and who, likes all of the food magazines, maybe the Food Network, HGTV, maybe they like Gordon Ramsay, who identifies themselves as a foodie. They like the guy off of Man vs. Food. And from all of those people, I want to market to everybody who likes African food. And so now you're telling this business owner, Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner, I'm providing a very, very specific outlet for your business to communicate directly with the community that's interested in your product. Mm-hmm. And I can automate the whole process with the Facebook chatbot. Would you like automatic, very targeted reservations, Mr. and Mrs. Business Owner? Mm-hmm. Yeah, most people would like that, and now you start to have that conversation about having a chatbot. So we're going to get into that a little bit later. I promise you, chatbots are amazing, but we're working on lead generation now, and this is going to help you get that lead because it's slowing down a little bit more.
Oh, good.
Any questions so far?
Sorry, something's like fizzing.
Yeah,
any questions from anybody?
Frank, there's also a pride point, if I remember correctly. You can correct me if I'm wrong on this. But doesn't Facebook award you with some kind of badge if you are responding like that? And that basically shows everybody that you're a truly responsive page, that they can actually count on something happening, which to a business owner means I don't have to be there, but something else will be there. And now I got this badge, kind of like a little medal on their chest. Gives them a pride point. So you're kind of building up their ego as much as you're serving them. So you're just stacking benefit on benefit, even though some of it's mental. You're bringing them a lot more value that raises your price every time you say something like that. And it's going to get to a point where you want to overbuild so that when you actually say what your price is, they're going to look at you and go, that's it? That's the aim.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's go ahead and scroll down a little bit more. Okay, let's go ahead and stop right there. Go ahead and scroll up. When was this post? When was this? April 25th. So recently, about a week ago, they uploaded last week's photos. Okay, they got some. It looks like somebody took these photos from an iPhone, right?
Possible. It was a wedding reception.
Right. So go ahead and scroll down a little bit. And then right there, you see 6 people liked it. Not many people commented on it. That means they have low engagement right now. Go ahead and keep scrolling down. Same thing. Keep scrolling down. Okay, now go back up real quick. You see right there, it says April 13th. So we went from the 25th to the 13th. So it looks like they're posting every 10 days or so.
Okay.
So keep scrolling down.
That's too long.
Way too long. Then April 6th. Keep going down. I like to look about a month because maybe they had an off month. Who knows? Maybe it's their busy month. Who knows? There we go. Now I'm seeing March 16th. Yeah, so this is their style. This is a strong indication that these people are committing random acts of social media. Have you guys ever encountered random acts of social media?
Nah.
Then they're going to laugh with you like that because it's funny. You know, they're like, yeah, I'm just randomly putting stuff out there. And then you can say, have you ever put something out there and had some interest in that and then it kind of just went away? They're like, yeah, all the time. Well, it's because you're inconsistent and there's nobody here that's handling this. And then straight up, and then here's where here's where we start to get into my hard close. And my hard close looks like this. Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner, when you walk into church, when you walk into a mall, when you walk into a school, when you walk into a movie theater, when you walk into a town center, and even when people are driving, where is everybody's attention? In their hands, on their phones, eyeballs are there, even when they're driving. Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner, even little babies are like this. When you walk around, babies are having their faces glued to tablets. This is just the way the world is working. And I can put your business there. There's a huge opportunity. Your page has less than 1,000 likes. You have a lot of, you do offer good service, and you have a bunch of different ways that you can monetize. You can offer event space. You can do weddings. You have a restaurant there. What if you had campaigns out there that were selling your event space, that were booking weddings for you, and that were selling private parties for you and catering, and then just bringing in people to your restaurant to see how awesome you guys are and promoting your guys' events? What if you had hyper-targeted campaigns that went out to the marketplace that only showed your ads to people that lived in this area that are foodies that like this kind of food, that like African food? There's probably people who've never discovered you. You have people come here all the time. They're like, oh, I didn't know this place existed, right? All the time, yeah. Do you want that to happen more? Is your business ready for an influx of customers, Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner? It's like, yeah, okay. And see how you start to talk about their business and the value to them. Now you're painting that picture that is totally real, that you can provide for them once they trust working with you. But now we're getting to the sales. And we're not in the sales just yet. We're working on the lead generation. So back to this, go ahead and click on message. Then here, again, is where we're going to be the number 2 type of person all the time in order to get the best results. I'm going to say, you know, hey, what's going on? I've actually been to your restaurant before. Let them know you're a human being. I've actually been to your restaurant before. I saw your page. Looks like you're committing random acts of social media. It's not really consistent. And you have an opportunity to get your business in front of a lot of other people and in front of a lot of interested traffic. Then, paste that message, send it over to them, see what happens, but follow up. And here is where the follow-up is key, because when I follow up, I don't do a script. I pick up my phone on the Messenger app. I hold down the little voice note. I'm sure many of you guys might have got a voice note from me if we've been communicating for some time. If not, we will. And I hold down and I will speak to them so they know that I'm a person, that I'm a human being, and that I have a voice. And this humanizes me from a little profile icon to a voice that they heard. And then even if whatever happens from there, I then follow up in a few days, and I always follow up on Tuesdays, and I always follow up on Thursdays. So if I send a message out, I always follow up on whatever the next day, whatever comes next. So if I send a message on Friday, I don't follow up till Tuesday. If I send a message out on Monday, I'll follow up on Tuesday. If I send a message out on Tuesday, I'll follow up on Thursday. And if I haven't been good with my follow-ups, I'm like, okay, I missed my follow-ups on Tuesday. Let me just hit Thursdays, because it'll happen, especially when you start to get your people that are working with you. And during those times that I like to follow up with them is going to be 11 o'clock, in the morning. That's probably the best time that they respond. And then 9 o'clock at night, same thing, because that business owner is going to get that notification, or whoever's running that. So how many of you guys have reached out to Facebook pages and saw that there was somebody managing it, like an employee or a social media manager or whatever?
Yeah, I had that yesterday. Was it yesterday or Sunday?
Right.
I don't know exactly who it was, but they told me that they were gonna talk to the business owner. Actually, we talked about it. That pizza place.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So here is where there's a gatekeeper there, and just like on cold calling, you have to establish a relationship with that gatekeeper. So remember when we first got started, the technique is cold outreach, and the tactic, because we're using Facebook Messenger, is still going to be the same, still have the same strategy, which is develop that relationship. And now we have to develop that relationship with that manager. Then I would say, if it's not the business owner, I would say, hey, you're doing a great job of this. I like how you guys have really, African culture type of graphics. I like how you guys are showing the mood and the ambiance and all this and that. I like how you guys are doing this. Where I see an opportunity for improvement is here. And you're going to give them tips, and now you're leading with value, and now you're making their job easier. Then I would say, hey, I saw that you don't have consistent posting. I want to introduce you to a super simple tool that's absolutely free that your business is going to love. And then send them a link to Hootsuite. And now they're like, oh, this is really cool. And you can say, look, you can spend 1 day a week scheduling posts for the rest of the week, and that's going to get you more consistent. That's going to build you up more likes. By the way, I do this stuff for a living, and I would love to have a talk with your business owner so I can bring you guys more leads, and maybe you can start to have a more stronger presence on their social media. And if it all goes well, maybe you can be their social media manager. Would you like to get paid for running Facebook? They're like a little smiley face up there. Now this girl who's running this, like 19 or 22, 23, oh my God, I'm going to be running the Facebook page for my business, blah, blah, blah. Like, they're proud and they're excited. And that's because you took the time to find out about them, what they were doing, what was their strategy. You built that trust and you built that relationship. Everything I'm teaching you is not rocket science. It does take a lot of work. And I was very adamant about that before we got into the program. There is no magic bullet. There is no secret sauce. Yes, you have these little tips and tricks and these tactics at your disposal, like these scripts, which are basically 3 half sentences and 6 emojis. That's all they are. You could arrange them in any other way and they would still have the same effect because you're taking the interest in that business owner. So that's how I reach out to them. That's how I follow up with businesses on Facebook. And I have a minimum of 8 times before I give up on that lead. They're either going to buy or I'm going to die. After 8 times, I'm going to die. I'm like, okay, I'm dead. I'm going to go on to the next lead.
How do you keep track of that?
I use Dubsado. And I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing your screen. I'll share you my screen real quick. And I do have an affiliate for this guy, and I also have a discount for this program as well. And this is what this looks like. So boom. So this is exactly it. So I have different people in different stages of whatever. And if you haven't got the emails, because you're not on this bracket yet, because there's some certain things you got to do. But yeah, anybody who needs a virtual assistant, I just kind of work with them. I want to show you something cool though. This does cost. It's $20 a month, but it's free to get started, and they'll give you free reign for up to 3 clients. So your first 3 clients, you can send contracts, you can send forms, you can send documents, you can send all this stuff. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this because this isn't an operations training. This is a lead generation training, but this is something that you want to be seeing for sure. So I sent this person a bunch of emails. By the way, this person has not sent me one response at all, not one. And I sent them all these emails. So 4 emails so far, and then it was a personal introduction too. So I sent them this is my referral email to say, hey, these are my references, call these people. Look at this. I know this person has been looking at this several times. So even though they're not contacting me, I know they're interested. And that's why the fortune is in the follow-up. This is real life information. She looked at this a million times. And my references are like, yeah, she's blowing me up. She's interested. Hit her up. Close her. You know, they're on my side. They're like, you know, yeah, it's good. Everything's going great. So I know that she's really, really interested in that. And this is like a lead that's taken me some time to close. So this is what I use, but you don't need this right now. If you have some cash, $20 a month is cheap. With my discount, you get 20% off. And I think there's like some extra bonus incentives on there as well. So, I mean, you're less than $20 a month. You have all of this. You've experienced my contract system already. You know what that's like. You get access to all of that. And that's exactly what I use. This has made my life a lot easier. And before that, I was using other platforms. I don't even want to mention it because this is night and day, way better. Using this has made my life a lot easier.
So, Frank, that's just for emails, correct?
It's for emails, contracts, invoicing, bookkeeping, workflow, customer management. I mean, it's a very, very powerful tool. Strongly recommend that.
Yeah, Frank. I know you said you follow up at least 8 times, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we just went over the initial message. So what do you follow up with? You always what types of messages do you say in a follow up?
It just depends. It just depends. So let me go ahead and go back to this. It depends on what I'm offering. So you guys are going to have these, the ones that I use, but I just want to show you just because it doesn't matter. So it's always talking on their pain point. Now we're going to move on to this next part, which you guys are really going to enjoy, and we're going to position your brand and your value. So right here, this is like a blog post type of setup, but this is someone who's interested in virtual assistants, and I did a psychoanalysis on these people, and these people who aren't moving forward are not moving forward because maybe they don't know what to outsource to their VA. So I said, hey, if you don't know what to do with my product, let me show you exactly what I and my clients do with this product. So I'm showing them, I'm giving them value. So I'm giving them a checklist, and this is kind of speaking to their pain points a little bit. And she's looking at it. It's working. But basically, here's where I'm going to show you this. Here's where we're going to start to value. So I wanted to go this a little bit last, but you guys kept coming here. So we're going to just go with let it flow, baby. We're going to let it flow. So a lot of people have some challenges in charging a lot for their services. If you have a problem offering your services for more than $5,000 a month to a business, raise your hand. Just kind of say me. You know, and if you don't, that's great. But you know, some people are there, and that's normal. Number one, because we're like, who are we? Why do we deserve this kind of money? You know, all we're used to is getting paid $800 every 2 weeks or $1,000.
You're the freaking experts. That's why you deserve all that money.
Exactly, because you're the freaking experts, baby. And here's where we start to differentiate ourselves from all the other marketers. So I charge a $1,000 campaign setup fee every single time for every single campaign. And the reason that I do that is because every one of my campaigns has a psychoanalysis. Who here has ever ran a psychoanalysis before? Anybody? Nobody? Cool. Mike has. Awesome. So a psychoanalysis is a fundamental marketing concept that 99.9% of marketers don't do. And here's what it entails. You want to think of a target follower. So not a target demographic, not a target audience. And then you tell your business owner to close them is this. When you start thinking of your customers as a target audience or a target demographic, you've already lost. People are not watching TV. They're fast forwarding to their commercials. They're not looking at billboards. They're throwing away mail outs. Their attention is on phones. You know, you should have really driven that point home up until this point. And you should be like, yeah, of course. Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, I get it. I understand. Then you're going to say, okay, I want to launch a hyper-targeted campaign, which means I'm going to launch a very specific message to a hyper-targeted audience. And for somebody who's working with a lead right now, I want to make it real for somebody.
Yeah, I got that realtor that I put in the group.
Perfect. So you're working with a realtor right now, and that realtor wanted what kind of leads?
Seller leads.
Perfect. So that realtor wanted seller leads, and you can easily get seller leads from Facebook ads in this context. So now that we've got that campaign goal in mind, we're going to look for seller leads. Now we got to do a psychoanalysis on homeowners. So we're looking for people who live in this area, who own homes, and we're going to get into their brain and think about how they think about selling their home, which they're not thinking about right now. It's our job to bust an inception and plant that idea in their head and get them to compel or get them to be so compelled to take action. So first, we got to put ourselves in their shoes. We got to think about their lifestyle. We got to think about their everyday surroundings. So let's talk it out loud. So what is their lifestyle? They are maybe elderly. Maybe their neighbors are getting, more left wing, more right wing. Maybe their neighbors aren't keeping up with the place and it's driving property values down, or they're just tired of this people, or they want to live closer to their grandkids, or maybe they're starting their family for the first time and their family got too big. Like, start to think about what's going on with them and their area. Then think about their everyday surroundings. And then your realtor can help you out with this, because your realtor is going to know that market information that changes for the real estate community. So always have that strong working relationship with your realtor. I'll constantly call up my realtors and be like, yo, I'm doing an ad for this hood in this area, in this marketplace. Who lives there? He's like, rich old white people. Cool. And I'm making an ad for rich old white people, So when we've got our marketing hats on, we're just thinking with that. And we're just like, okay, what does this person need? So think about their everyday surroundings and their pain points. Their pain points might be, there's a lot of traffic. There is construction going on all the time. There's a new airport. There's a new stadium that got built. I'm going to have to pay for the stadium tax or whatever, or my, blah, blah, blah. These are my pain points. Does everybody know what a pain point is?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. What keeps them up at night? Pain point for Mike is his elbow. He's got that tendonitis. So you got, what keeps them up at night? What are their anxieties? What are they mad about? What are the things that are happening around them? What are their symptoms? What are their desires? What are their dreams? What are they looking to achieve? So put yourself into these sellers. And before you move on to the next step, I want you guys to write this out on a sheet of paper or on an Excel spreadsheet or on a Word document and write this down. Here's why. You're going to take that information and you're going to submit that to your business owner. And you're going to say, Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner, I have completed a psychoanalysis. But that's just the first part of the psychoanalysis. So the second part of that, by the way, just from that, do you guys feel like the value that business owner gets from working with you as opposed to everybody else?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
for sure.
Absolutely.
Do you
Definitely.
think anybody in the marketplace is offering that type of targeting and care to their businesses?
No, not that I know of.
Too much work.
Most at this point or not, they're somewhat general. We just had a seminar recently where a guy came in and did a talk about social media, talked about Facebook and Twitter, barely got into anything, and had the whole room eating out of his hands.
I hear you. Are we getting a copy of that?
Absolutely.
And I guess like the step by step, like what like psychoanalysis, this, that. I guess like, because I would need to see it visually in my head, and then be able to implement that.
And everybody in here, I believe, got the one-on-one bonus where we have some one-on-one sessions. When we have our one-on-one sessions, we are going to do psychoanalysis until your fingers bleed, because that is just fundamental marketing. And if you build up that skill, you can market any niche, any product, any business, any service, and you can walk into any boardroom with mad fucking swag and say, yo, I'm expensive. Here's why. Pay me. And throw the contract on the table. Straight up. They're going to see the value, because no one's doing what you're doing. But that's just the first part. I haven't showed you the rest of that strategy, which is turning cold strangers into raving fans, because the second part looks like this. Because you're going to get that business owner that's like, well, that's what you say. That's what your psychoanalysis is. You'll be like, you know what? That's a fair response. Somebody else give me another client that they're working with. I want to do what's called an Amazon review mining. Any other client?
Senior home care.
Perfect. Senior home care. So let's see what that is. Senior home. Perfect. Has anybody ever done Amazon review mining before?
Review mining?
Yes.
No. What is that?
This is what we're doing right now. This is what's going to write your copy, because we are not copywriters. We are marketers. We are going to steal exactly what is on what we're about to find and have people with these wants, desires, fears,
okay.
anxieties. Yeah. We're going to take the exact words and we're going to sell it.
Remember, guys, it's all R&D, not research and development. Rip off and duplicate. It's exactly what we do. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You just need to go find where the wheel is.
Right.
So here's what I do, guys, and I do this on every single ad. I go to whatever I'm doing. So this is a how-to guide to starting your senior home care business. That might not be – is it a senior home care business? Is that
Yeah.
what the lead is?
Yeah, so it's senior home care or assisted living.
This is probably a better one, but there's not enough reviews, the home care, because the other ones are about businesses.
You can try searching for assisted living instead.
Yeah, let's try that. There we go. Perfect. How to care for aging parents. Oh, man, 168 reviews. I scroll all the way down to the bottom, guys, and then I look at the best reviews and look at the worst reviews. And I always start with the worst reviews, always. I want to see what people are mad about. So, okay, boom, I come down here. Very depressing to read when you're already down.
Okay.
That's hilarious. All right, let's go to the 2 stars and see what they said.
Maybe it's more about the book.
Yeah, so let's go to 3 stars. Let's see. I'm just reading this to kind of see. I'm going to hit pause on the recording so people can come back. All right, we found it very quickly after. You got to keep mining and keep going down that minefield. So right away, families going through the agony of trying to save their deteriorating parents. Boom, baby. Pay me. Pay me. This is something that is going to compel cold traffic to take action.
Right.
Using those words. So what I would do is I would copy this, and then a Chrome extension that I use is called PayPeer. Oh crap! That's the website. So this is the Chrome extension. This is it right here. This is the Chrome extension. So PayPeer. So we're gonna do elder care mining, and so these are my notes. And I'm going to have same thing from the psychoanalysis. What are people mad about? Anxieties, fears, desires, lifestyle, just like whatever that was on there. I'll just put that there just so I can have categories to put whatever in there. And I'll just start copying and pasting what people are saying. And I'll do that for about an hour or so until I feel I have enough, and you'll know when you're like, okay, I should have enough. I got enough ammo. But yeah, just keep reading this. Let's see what goes on there. Ooh, this is a good one. Helping to form consensus amongst siblings. That's a good one. On what actions should be taken on dealing with a parent who is starting to experience age-related problems. So there's a lot of good. I'm gonna find one more because I want to show you a different example. Right here. How to deal with dying. That's a strong phrase. That's a memorable phrase. I would copy that and I'd put that over my paper. And I'm just mining. I'm just copying and pasting and finding stuff. So I do pay people to do this for me because it does take a lot of work, as you guys can see. but I want to find out what people are talking about. And I would do that for a few more books, and that's step number 2. But what I do also is I take screenshots of this, and I will tell the business owner, Mr. Business Owner, this is my psychoanalysis. This is kind of what I came up with, but here's some real life data from, William C. Hallworth, who gave this book a 4-star review on July 20, 2015. And this is a verified purchase through Amazon. Like, I'm not fucking with you. I'm telling you the truth. This is what people are saying about your product or services. And this is actual market data. And they're like, oh, damn. So now they're getting your psychoanalysis from your end. Now they're getting the Amazon review. But then, because we're awesome marketers, and for every single campaign, we go to Google, and we go to, all right, so somebody else give me another niche in your area. Who are you working with? Who would you like to work with?
I got another chiropractor lead.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Chiropractor in New York, right?
Yeah.
New York City.
New York.
New York in the building. All right, so here, perfect. I would come over here. Let's go to more places. This is a good one right here. Let's look at the bad reviews. Terrible experience. He's only interested in insurance money. Boom. Is your chiropractor only interested in insurance money? They're writing everything for us. But I would screenshot this and let them know, look, you went to the marketplace, you did the homework, and this is the data that you found. I would do a few of these, take screenshots. Still not done. You also want to go to Yelp and go there. And, if you're dealing with contractors, you might want to go to like Angie's List, the other contractors. Basically find the other review site and do your research. And now when you come to your business owner for a campaign and you're like, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Business Owner, I got this campaign. I want to start off at $5 a day for the first 2 weeks because when I run a campaign, I believe in the minimum viable product operation method. Are you familiar with that, Mr. and Mrs. Business Owner? Most business owners are like, well, what the heck is that? What is MVP business model? Well, minimum viable product means that you are coming to the marketplace expending the minimum amount of resources necessary in order to create a proof of concept or a winning formula. Then when you have that winning formula, you then allocate your resources and scale. So I don't want to test something. I want to test something to make sure it works. And then when I find a winner, I'm going to put all my resources behind that. Minimum viable product. I don't want to waste unnecessary money because there's no reason for me to drop $10 a day on this ad because it has not yet proven to be a winner. I have not collected enough information from the marketplace, Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner, to be able to make a recommendation on how much we should put behind this ad and how effective this ad is going to get and how many views can I get for a penny, or how many comments can I get for this, or how many likes can I get for that. And now you're talking about the metrics. Remember, we started with the metrics. We're reincorporating that into the sales pitch. And that's going to be like, yeah, he was talking about metrics. And yeah, now I see why that's it. It's so important. This guy's a whiz quiz. He's a genius. I got to work with him. I don't want to handle this. And at the end of the day, they should realize that you are handling their marketing. Say, Mr. Business Owner, there's a lot of stuff. You don't want to learn hashtags. You don't want to learn pixels. You don't want to learn retargeting. You don't learn all this stuff. Let me handle this. You're really good at being an elderly care person or being a realtor. You're really good at that. Would you just want more leads? Perfect. Yeah. This is what it's like to work with me. And by then you would have already built up enough value and you have a high position once you start having that conversation with them to where your rates start to make a lot of sense. So I want to stop here real quick and see if there's any questions on review mining and psychoanalysis. Is there any questions there yet?
Is it the same for every client, like the psychoanalysis you do? Do you ever switch it up? Okay.
Same formula every single time. And I charge a setup fee. I take a half a day to do it. It takes some time, and I outsource most of the work. And it's good form. I know that when I launch a campaign, I'm going to receive results because I did the homework and I put the work in. If you're getting an ad that doesn't convert, you haven't done a psychoanalysis, you haven't done your review mining, you don't know what the buyer or the customer or target follower their pain point is, and you haven't earned the respect of the marketplace yet because you didn't respect it. So yeah, that's on every single one, my friend.
Okay, thanks.
I want to go and talk about pricing because we're about to end up with our time real quick. But real quick, guys, how much do you think a social media manager makes at Pepsi?
Hundreds of thousands, man.
Why do you think they make hundreds of thousands?
Because they bring extreme value. They bring results. Possible. Supposed to.
Well, because we perceive that company as a big deal. So we think that they're paid a lot.
Right. So I'm going to show you guys some real life numbers.
Oh, you guys are going to freak.
And we're just going to do some research together just so you guys can kind of see what's going on. So these companies who already have marketing budgets, who want to keep their marketing in-house, they are paying somebody roughly $70,000 in a place like New York City, you know, where there's someone who's going to be hip, probably somewhere in San Francisco. It might be a little bit more, you know, but a little bit less than $100,000. What does that work out to? So let's go and pull up the calculator. So let's say $70,000 for the year. That company is paying them $6,000 a month. That is not including unemployment insurance, healthcare, benefits, paid time off, 401k matching, stock options, cell phone, company cars, expense account, none of that stuff. They're base paying this person $6,000 a month to work 40 hours for them, and maybe they're getting some results. Maybe they're just kind of like posting stuff and using Hootsuite and doing that kind of stuff. But they're not running Facebook ads, and if they are, they're not doing anything with emojis. They're not doing anything with chatbots. They're not doing anything with any of that advanced stuff. They're not retargeting whatsoever. They're not planning pixels. They're just kind of there because their business doesn't really know and isn't educated and isn't aware of those opportunities that are available in the marketplace. So you are maybe, you know, the magic number I'm finding in the social media marketing agency world is everybody wants to charge $1,500 a month because Ty Lopez said one time on some interview that was a going rate, and people just kind of stuck with that. And if you want to charge $1,500 a month, that's fine and dandy, but you're actually severely undercharging. And here's why. Because that business owner or that company is, you know, if they were looking to hire somebody in-house at that caliber, they're looking to drop about $6,000 per month on there. And if they're looking to bring in an agency who has resources, who has admins, who has graphic people and website people and, you know, drawers and market research and voice actors and commercial actors and all these different things that they have in their agency, for a business to even talk to them is going to cost $10,000 with a retainer just to kind of see, okay, what's your campaign? And then they're going to charge them for the campaign and nickel and dime them. They're going to charge them $40 to $60 for administration services. They're going to charge them $200 to $300 for web and tech development and graphics. And they're getting that every single day. So if somebody is a small business owner, that's their option, is to pay that fee or to hire somebody in-house or to have their niece do it very poorly for $10 an hour. So there is a huge gap in the marketplace for legitimate business owners with legitimate marketing budgets that don't necessarily want somebody in-house to be able to do that or to be able to run that part of their business. They're looking for somebody like ourselves who can provide this service for them. So because of that, I always come in at a starting retainer. And notice that I say retainer. I don't say management fee. I don't say I'll run your Facebook ads. My monthly retainer is $2,000 per month to handle your marketing. And here's what it includes. You guys are going to get this. There are no worries. But I just wanted you guys to see this. This is what I send to business owners. Business owners sign this. So let's say you get the lead and you're having a conversation and maybe you can't get the deal for whatever reason and you have to quote unquote downsell to a complimentary campaign. This is what a complimentary campaign should look like. Not a free trial. We don't do stuff for free. This is what a complimentary campaign looks like. So let me know if you guys can see my screen. You guys see that?
Yeah.
Perfect. So earlier somebody had a question, which was, when do you get too much value, or when is that line where you cross where you get too much value? You really don't get too much value, because what we're talking about is so advanced that we should have no problem giving out our strategies 100%, because those business owners wouldn't have the bandwidth, the knowledge, or even the understanding of all the nuances that it takes to do all of this to be able to get the same results that you can, because you are a dedicated professional. You've dedicated your craft to bring these kind of results towards that business. So this is what I send them over. I give them my exact step. It's like when you go to Walmart or any AutoZone or whatever oil change place, and you're like, hey, change my oil. And the guy's like, I'm going to go underneath here and I'm going to do this and I'm going to unscrew this and I'm going to fill it in with this. I'm going to do all that. And you're like, man, that's really cool. Now I know how to change my oil, but I don't want to get underneath my car and change my oil. Like, that just doesn't seem like something I want to do. Business owners don't want to do this. They just want to know it's getting done. So I send them over exactly what it has, and I line them out step by step. Here's a complimentary campaign. This is what it includes. This includes one done-for-you marketing campaign. This is a psychoanalysis of a target follower. This is a custom emoji integration. I do copywriting for you. I'll do the split testing of the advertisement. I'll optimize the ad, and I'll report that ad to you. Please keep in mind that all digital assets are property of me and my business, and these will be used as case studies to be included in my portfolio. The term for this complimentary campaign is 2 weeks, and the budget that I'm recommending is $5 per day. Once the winning ad is created and tested, we will scale up on our ad spend. Any marketing? Go ahead.
At that first level, are you getting paid or you're not getting paid?
At this point, I'm going to be showing my value to qualified people. So I'm going to make sure that these people see marketing as an investment and not as an expense. I want to make sure that their objection is legit, which is, you know what, we've never done this. And this is kind of new to us. And I would have done my damnedest to close them, to offer them whatever. Whatever reason they didn't go forward, I would say, look, you know what? Let me prove my value to you. And I'm going to run one campaign. And I still do the psychoanalysis. I do the Amazon review mining, and I do all that stuff. And because that's a lot of work, I make sure I'm working with somebody that's qualified, that I know already has a marketing budget, they're interested, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
Cool, man. Any more questions about this part?
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. I guess it's for the next part that you have there. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So after I let them know that, then I say, that's my complimentary offer. So I don't do free trials. That's my offer. Any marketing campaigns above the following will be billed at the following rates. And here's what I put. Monthly retainer, $2,000. This includes Facebook ads management, because that's almost what everybody wants. It includes Facebook page management, posting, replying to comments, answering messages. That's kind of what I offer there. Now, that's what I say I do. And what I really do is I just handle their marketing. They got a Twitter account, I link it up to their Facebook. They got a YouTube, I link all that stuff. Their YouTube page is not optimized, I do what I can. I just serve the crap out of them so they feel that they got a lot of value from me. And because it wasn't in the contract, they're going to see that as a bonus. And that is that X factor. So I'm going above and beyond, and this is what we call over-delivering on that. So, moving down, here is where this is a template. And let's say the business owner is active on Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. And we're having a great conversation. Here is where I would say, you know what, those are a lot of platforms, and I put dedicated people behind those platforms to run those for you. It's going to cost me a little bit of money. I'd love to offer you a deal. And how about this? How about I'll give you all 5, and instead of charging you $1,000 per platform like I normally do per month, let me go ahead and do all 3 or all 5 of those for $3,000, or $4,000 or $3,500 or whatever. I'll just throw out a number and give them a deal. because I'm not an unflexible person. I would like to work with them, and everybody likes to get a good deal. And managing another platform isn't a big deal anyways, and I was probably going to do it. So why not just like offer that to them? And that value that they get is going to make them feel good. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Awesome. Now here is where we start talking about the campaign setup fee. So this campaign setup fee, we let them know, yo, this free or this complimentary campaign that you got, here's my psychoanalysis, here's Google reviews, here's Amazon review mining, and we didn't get to go into this, but we do Facebook group mining. Basically what that looks like is this. If you are serving a somebody give me a niche that you're working with.
Skin doctor, dermatologist.
Dermatologist, perfect. Okay, so if you're serving a dermatologist, then you want to go to Facebook, you want to go to groups, and you want to look for all of the groups talking about skincare. And you want to start to go in there and type in dermatologist and type in and read to see what are their fears about working with dermatologists. What are their good experiences? What are their bad experiences? Take screenshots of those and then send that over. So now you've done your psychoanalysis, Google review mining, Amazon review mining, Yelp review mining, and Facebook review mining. You might not have all of those available for your niche, and there might be other ones out there, but I like to do 3 or 4 of them just to let them know, hey, here's my homework. And when they see that, and then they see this $1,000 setup fee, they're like, oh yeah, he does his work, and these are really targeted campaigns that really resonate with our audience. That makes a lot of sense. Let's go ahead and charge them, this, this, and this. So we just kind of outline everything. SEO is blank for whatever reason, but that normally has something there. And then blogging is another service that we can charge, and everything that I charge is another $1,000. So, for example, $2,000 is my monthly retainer. If I get somebody who wants Pinterest ads, Twitter ads, Google ads, and blogging, that's another $4,000 on top of my normal $2,000. That starts at $6,000 per month. And I might cut them a deal, I might not. It just kind of depends on what they need. And that's how you start to get clients who are worth a lot more. And all of this works together because, for example, here in the blogging, when I charge $1,000 a month, I offer 16 blog posts that are 2,000 words each, and they're keyword rich. I then also offer repurposing of those blog posts. And what does that mean? Okay, you write it, we get a blog post written for you. We will then make a Pinterest infographic and then put that on Pinterest. We'll also make a Google Plus size image and put that on Google Plus. We'll also put that on Instagram and make that go link somewhere else. We'll also put that on Tumblr, on all the other platforms, on Facebook groups that are relevant. So if for a dermatologist, if we write a blog post on the 7 great things that your dermatologist can do for your skin, we're going to take that blog post and post those into the relevant Facebook groups to get more exposure. That's the repurposing of those blog posts. That takes some effort. That's an extra value that they don't want to do. That's them changing their oil that they're like, damn, that's a lot of work. I don't know if I want to do that. So we also include the social graphics for those and then the physical posting of those as well. And then here we go over the pay-per-click. And this is basically saying, look, this is our menu, and we'd like to work with you. And if you're doing this, this is pretty serious. That's just kind of the outline. Then we start talking about the actual what work that we're doing. Look at all this. Here's the psychoanalysis that we're doing. Boom, boom, boom. This is what we're looking for. And now it's like legit. And they're like, okay, I'm ready to take these next steps. I understand that I'm receiving a complimentary campaign. And right here, the initial says, I agree and understand that I'm receiving complimentary marketing services. I agree to the following agreement and understand that the results of the campaign will be documented and displayed in a portfolio to gain future business. I understand that all aspects are intellectual property of my organization. I understand. Here's a good one. I agree to the following agreement and understand that the marketing campaigns are designed to first collect information and then adjust the campaign based on the information collected to achieve maximum ROI. I'm going to paste that so you guys have that, but you're going to have this as well. Boom. So, you know, that's a little bit about the pricing. I want to open up the floor for pricing and, you know, really kind of talk about that, because I feel a lot of people just don't value ourselves. And if you don't value yourselves just yet, wait till you get a little bit more knowledge and wait till you see the different kinds of things that you can do. But right off the bat, metrics, niche marketing, emoji marketing, retargeting, you can basically tell a business owner, Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner. Now we're getting into my hard sell stuff. This is how I hard sell, guys. Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner, when you give me money, I'm going to tell you where I spend every single penny and I can prove it. And I shut up. They're like, damn, that's pretty cool. Then I'm like, Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner, when you give me money and I run a campaign, I can have a very specific message go to a very specific hyper-targeted audience. I can program a Facebook chatbot to be associated with that dark post, which doesn't go out to people who aren't in this little bubble that Facebook gave me. And when those people send a message or comment on that post, it's going to send them a message directly. It's going to lead them to a sale, booking an appointment with you, buying your products. It's going to result in automatic money for you. Are you interested in that, Mr. and Mrs. Business Owner? And they're going to be like, yeah, 100%. And whenever I say this to people, I got like the biggest shit-eating grin on my face, because I know that I'm about to make a lot of money and I know that they're about to make a lot of money. And if I've done a great job of positioning myself, which in this call I haven't, because we're talking about leads and lead generation strategy. Now we're moving into the sales. It's all about positioning, getting that relationship, building all this trust. And in order for you to get there, you've got to do what we just talked about every single day. And I want to talk to you. I want to end the call with this and open up the floor for any questions. We are going to stay a little bit later. If you guys got to go, just let me know. That's cool. But when I talk to a business owner, I'm always coming from a position of profit, and I'm always speaking to that profit. I never talk about, anything else other than the money, because that's their language. The only thing they care about is, what is my ROI? What is my return on investment? That's the only thing that's going to move this conversation forward, is if we start talking about that. But I can't get there until I go through that whole process and treat every single lead the exact same way. If that lady who hasn't responded to any of my emails, I'm still going to follow up with her 8 times and maybe even more, because I know that she's interested. I know that she's taking a look at this information, and I know maybe I just haven't hit that right buying point. So for some people, they want the chatbot. For some people, they want the Facebook ads. For some people, they got to build their email list. For some people, they got to do this. They got to do that. And we're in a business where we can offer so many different unique campaigns to them that it doesn't matter what we offer, because at the end of the day, you're bringing them money, and they need money to run their business. No business owner would ever tell you, no, I don't need more leads. They always need more leads. If they wouldn't be working late, they wouldn't be coming to work early if their money was right. And you're there to help get their money right. And you're going to make them happy. You're going to make them work less. And now you have to start valuing yourself as a business and the value that you bring to business owners. So I just wanted to really drive that point home, that you can't get to those sales calls unless you do this work. And that case, or that complimentary campaign, let's go ahead and play worst case situation. Let's say you spend 4 hours and do a psychoanalysis on somebody, and you're not getting paid for it. You go to 2 weeks, and now you don't have anything. You don't have any money. They're like, you know what? I don't want to work with you. Whatever. Well, now you have a case study. Now you have a screenshot, and you can take that to their competitors and say, hey, I have proof of concept. This ad works for this business. They're in your market. It's already proven. Do you want to run it for your business? They're like, sure. That makes a lot of sense, because I value marketing as an investment and not an expense. You're like, damn, it's really cool to work with people like this who see business in this way. And they're like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you guys start working together. So that case study or that testimonial, it's not for nothing. You can build upon that. And the way to build a business, if you don't have any clients right now, is to go out to the marketplace, provide value, get that case study, get that testimonial, leverage those successes to land bigger deals, to gain those experience. So the way to get those a lot faster is to do all the techniques that we just discovered today that are in those emails that you already have every single day. And that's it, guys. I want to open up the floor for questions. I want to answer specific questions for you guys and make sure that we're solving your pressing challenges now. And everything's kind of free reign. So we will be recording this. Just keep that in mind. This will only be available to the people in our mastermind. So that's it for my presentation.
Hey, great info, Frank. I got to take off, but thank you so much, man. That was awesome.
Thank you, Taylor. I appreciate that.
For sure.
Hasta luego.
So those, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Would a discovery form be something that we can utilize, like to get information out of a customer? Like, because I've, as many of you guys have probably done, taken a lot of other courses or whatever, gotten a lot of information out there, and from one guy that that I've listened to, he was talking about he does not continue a conversation unless they have completed a discovery form. And then once they complete the discovery form, he's able to, assess where they are and see if they are a viable business option for him as well.
What up, Mike? Mike's got something for us.
So yes, it's always good to have one of those. Do not make it an interview of that sort, though. Don't make it impersonal. Get a form that you can look at and remain conversational with the person. Remember, you're there for the business owner as somebody that they can learn to trust. As you're going through your psychoanalysis and your interview and the discovery, you'll want to have most of these either in a bullet form. Because if you're sitting there going, oh, Mr. Business Owner, what about your marketplace? Do you know what you have? And then you have to do this. You've already lost them. You cannot disconnect. You need to be able to have that conversation with them 100% from the word go.
Right.
And
it's more so
what I've learned, and this is really screwy. It's going to sound kind of off. I learned how to write without looking. And if you can get down to that kind of skill and be able to write down your notes on a piece of paper using peripheral vision and just continuously, oh, okay, so you think you've only got about a mile around you as far as your pizza parlor is concerned. What makes you say that? And that's one of your questions. It's right there. But all you're doing is you're writing it down on the bottom as they're talking. Oh, okay, so is that the furthest you've actually gone out? Is that the most that you've actually done as far as, well, you did Yellow Pages. Great, awesome. What else have you done? You're writing all of this as they're talking, but you're never taking your eyes off them.
Right.
You can have that discovery. You should have that discovery. Just don't depend on it.
Right. Okay. It's, I guess, I hear what you're saying, and it makes a lot of sense. I guess, it's like have the conversation, but when they start asking about pricing, it's like you're directing them back to the discovery. Like on your website, like if you have a link, you're like, okay, fill it out, then I'll be able to do a proper, analysis of your business and so forth. When you know what I mean? I don't know.
Then that's a pre-conversation you have before the actual conversation.
Okay.
If that's something you want them to do, the chatbot can do that. Chatbot can do that, and if your capture pages can do that, it can actually walk them through a whole deal. You can set up a full, either a checklist or a video list, and have them line out for you what it is that they want to do. Caution, most business owners don't have the time nor want to take the time to do that kind of stuff, which is why it's easier for you to be the guy that's on that line going, well, let's just do this. Let's talk for a second. I don't want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have a conversation with you. And then go through it. Okay. And you'll ask the questions, you'll go through the discovery. If they don't have the time, nail it. Grab them right there. Let's listen. You got 5 minutes? Everybody's got 5 minutes. Even if it turns into 30, because if it's a really good conversation, it might last an hour and a half. You got 5 minutes? Great. Let's just talk for a minute. Boom, 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 boom. There you go. Look, right there.
So, and that's great. So I like to automate as much as I can. And a lot of people in this business are going to tell you a lot of things. So I like to make my time more efficient. And if somebody's serious about meeting me and working with me, especially from the tactics that we're doing, which is straight up reaching out to cold traffic, I send them something that looks like this. And it's just like got all this information. As Michael said, it's very collaborative. It talks to me about their sales, their marketing, their operations. So I obviously offer a little bit more than just that, but I do send them this. And it's just basically asking them a lot of questions about their business,
Yeah,
And
I have something similar as well. I haven't used it as yet, to be honest with you, because I I have the vocal school that I'm working with, like pro bono, and I haven't like gone through like setting up the funnels and the traffic and all of that stuff. So
as
I
you,
haven't
as you
really.
shouldn't, you shouldn't, you shouldn't.
Right,
That's money you should be paid for.
right, you know.
So if I can follow up to that then, forgetting how efficient Frank likes to be and how old school I am, obviously that just absolutely showed through just now, because I am consultative. What Frank just showed does actually take a lot of the work that I just said out of the equation. So it's less time on with the business owner. And actually, he's right. If the business owner is really serious, they're going to take the time. They're going to fill it out. They may have a few questions. Well, that's where your actual consultative state comes in. You can ask the question again, what wasn't filled in? Hey, I noticed you missed this part about you. Have you ever worked with a consultant before? Oh, no, I forgot about that. No. Okay, good. Click. One thing off. But everything else you'll have already done. You'll have had the time to go out and do your research, or have somebody go out and do the research. You'll have everything right there for them. So, sorry, Frank. That's just the old school coming out.
I guess there's room for both, right? I mean,
the best mix is both, because
right.
I'll have some business owners that are like, Frank, go jump in a lake. You're sending me what? You're sending me forms? Nah, I need you to come down here and talk to me. And I'm like, damn. So now I gotta throw on the suit and tie and go talk to them. It's just it's their court, and I'm there to serve them. I am their servant. When I come to a business owner, I'll say all the nice things, right? Blah, blah, blah. But they know that I'm here to talk about their marketing and to handle their marketing and to bring them an influx of customers and to bring them more money. I'm only talking about profit. And I want him to think of me as the money guy, not because he's paying me money, because I'm the guy bringing the money in. He can do all the good work. I'm bringing the money to the business. And every one of us, when we walk into businesses and talk to businesses, you should walk around like you're a fighter pilot, because, we're not selling credit card machines. We're not selling printers. We're not selling paper. We're not selling any of that. What we are selling is money. Do you want money, Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner? If your business is in the position to make more money, let's rock. And if they're not, then you know what? That's not a good lead. You gotta keep sorting through those people, and that vibe, that mentality conveys. So aside from all this technical stuff that we're talking, that technical stuff's going to help you do the job. But what's going to help you acquire the lead is to do the work that we just talked about. What's going to help you, get that conversation steered towards that selling is to start talking about the money. Follow the money, talk about the money, and always bring the money inside. So when you bring up chatbots, you say, yeah, chatbots are a great way to automate money. When we talk about targeting, say, yeah, when I hyper target something, I'm going to bring you more money, and I'm going to have you use less money, because this is going to be a more relevant message. Do you like saving money and making more money? Heck yeah, And now you're able to do that. So one thing we didn't cover in this is cold calling. Cold calling, it sucks. I love it, and I always like to call between 8 and 8:30 and 6 to 6:30 if I have to do it myself. I normally outsource it. And when I'm on the phone, there's no script. It's like I'm straight up going. It's like this. Hey, what's going on? Is Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner there? Is the owner of the business there? Oh, I'm the owner of the business. Awesome. What kind? I'm a marketing expert. What kind of marketing are you doing right now? I'm just checking in with all the local business owners. How's your marketing going this year? Oh yeah, we're doing this, we're doing that. Awesome. How do you guys do it on social media? I'm just having a conversation with them. It's not salesy. It's not whatever. Like, hey, what are you guys doing on social media? Oh, we're doing this. And you'll find that most people are there. Then I'll say, awesome. Are you guys using Facebook Pixels? Are you guys using the new Facebook chatbots? Are you guys updated with, funnels and landing pages? Are you guys using pixels? Are you guys using video marketing? Are you guys still using photos? Where are you guys at right now? Now I'm like talking to them about like their business. And if you notice, I haven't sold them shit. I haven't talked about how awesome my value is. All I'm doing is asking about their business. And if they're like, well, why are you being nosy? Be like, Mr. and Mrs. Business Owner, I'm a marketing consultant and I also have a marketing agency. I just want to make sure that you're putting out your best foot forward in the social sphere, or in social media. And they're just like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, let's talk. And then if they're not interested, then they don't value social media. And if they don't value social media, you've got two options. One of those options is to kind of hang up and say, well, screw that guy. And the other option, and the most profitable option, is to say, call him out. Hey, Mr. Business Owner, it seems like you don't really care about social media. Well, hell no, I'm a dentist, and I charge insurance companies $7,000. I'm rich, you know? Like, that's how he is. And so he's like, oh, damn, well, if I would agree with them, say, you know what, if I made $7,000 a sale and an insurance company had to pay me and not my clients, I would be laughing to the bank too. That sounds amazing. Would you like more of those kind of clients? Well, of course. Well, with Facebook marketing, I can actually put your offers in front of people. What kind of stuff? I'm not selling him there. I'm just kind of let him know what I do. With Facebook ads, I can do X, Y, and Z. Then I ask him, Mr. Dentist, what kind of leads are most profitable for you? You know what? I sure do make a killing when these kids come get their braces. Awesome. So if I could market your business to moms with teenagers, would that be something you're interested in? Yeah, absolutely. What if I could show you where every penny was spent? What if I could show you who is responding to what age of moms are working, if moms are working with the ad, if moms with toddlers, teenagers, or grown kids are responding to this? Would you like access to that kind of information? Yeah, that makes like a lot of sense. Like, that sounds really good. Mr. Dentist, what if I could run a campaign that went out to really targeted people that were in your neighborhood that maybe they were new to the area and they don't have a dentist just yet? Even better. And be like, yeah, what is a lifetime value for somebody like that? Well, if I meet a family of 4, the kids usually get braces because all these kids are drinking Gatorade and Red Bull and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, then maybe they have another family member that needs dentures, and then maybe somebody gets a cavity. So every year I'm making like $9,000 off of the family. Okay. Would you like for me to bring in 100 new families in the next 3 to 6 months? Yeah, would that make a difference in your business, Mr. and Mrs. Business Owner? Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. You know what? I'd like to have a conversation with you about your marketing, about what's going on right now, and how you are leveraging social media. Does that sound like something you're interested in? Absolutely. Perfect. You know what? And then here's when you can show them something like this if you're on a call with them. One second. This is just a regular lead sheet that I have. You'll be getting one of these once you're ready. Once you show me some leads, you'll get all this stuff. Once you show me you're doing the work, I promise you, you'll get all the goodies. And we got goodies galore. But it's super simple. We're basically going in there and we're looking at their numbers. Now, this is after we're getting paid. So we don't do this just yet. But we let them know, look, we're going to do this for your business. We're going to do these kind of psychoanalysis. We're going to do X, Y, and Z. And they're going to know that this is something that you value. This is something that you are serious about, and you want to take this to that next level. So that's where I would do the audits. That's when I would start bringing that up. But after you have those kinds of conversations with them. So we need to get away from scripts. We need to get away from what to say and how to say it. We need to move towards what's the money saying? Because the money controls all the conversation. We are owned by the almighty dollar. If you don't bring in leads, no money comes in, it just ain't gonna work. So, yeah, that's it. Anybody have any more questions?
Like when you're around business owners, not necessarily going door to door, but like just people you know, or just if you come across any type of business owner. Do you have like a go-to saying to like bring up what you do without sounding salesy? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So people ask me all the time, hey, what do you do? And depending on what I want them to respond to, in this case, if I wanted somebody to respond to my social media marketing agency, what I would say is I put businesses on people's phones through social media.
You put what?
Sorry?
I put businesses on people's phones through social media. They're like, what? I mean, it's interesting. They want to know. They want to know more. And then the business owners, real quick, would be like, well, I got this kind of business. What can you do? I don't know. What are you doing right now? Always drop it back to them. Always drop it back. I mean, like, you guys have to start to learn how to speak consultant. And yo, Mike, let us know how to speak. Show us some consultant game real quick. What do you do?
What do you mean what do I do?
When you speak, exactly, just like what he just did.
Okay, so sorry, Frank, I couldn't resist. Yeah, the consultant is always on a fact-finding mission. The consultant is forever looking to find out where the opportunity lies. Not for themselves, for the person that they're going to be serving. Let's say you're like a restaurant. Khalil, you don't dealing with yet. You haven't had that conversation. You don't know what questions to ask because he hasn't said anything, or she hasn't said anything. And then when you get into the he/she thing, the questions change again. But you're always, I told you guys earlier, it's a ping pong game. You're playing ping pong with the owner. The ping pong is going to go past the owner one of these times because the owner's like, I'm the champ. I get you all day. Here it comes. I'm gonna get you this way. Let me slap that like this. How you gonna do this? What you gonna do? And then you're gonna come back and you're gonna just make this nice little lob, and it's gonna go ding, 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 and they're gonna lose the point. Now all of a sudden you go, hey, hold on a second, I can help you with that. And here's how. Well, here's how you can capitalize, Mr. Business Owner. And then you give them the whole solution, and they look at it and go, well, that's great, but I ain't got no time for that. I do. In fact, that's exactly what I do.
And I'm here to handle your marketing. Like that's the
I'm here to be your CMO. And it's going to be one hell of a bargain because, Mr. Business Owner, this is what everybody else is charging, and this is all they're doing. And they're taking up all this time. I'm going to get you this much with this much. They're going to take this much and give you this much. That's the difference between me and everybody else. And that's, as a consultant, you're constantly asking to find out the next piece, the next piece, the next piece. Because as you get them talking, the price tag keeps going up and up. And then you can come back like Frank does and say, well, listen, normally that would be like that's a $10,000 a month deal. But you know what? Because of what you do and the fact that we've gotten such a good rapport here, I feel like we should do something together. I want to work with you. How about if we started with the retainer up and give them 20% off, give them 30% off, whatever it is that you feel like. Don't give them too much, by the way. I was taught years ago by an old sales dog, if you're going to sell something to somebody, it has to hurt just enough. Not too much that they won't do it, but just enough that they'll stay invested.
I hear you.
So if it's a 20% discount, that's borderline no longer invested. It's $8,000 is still invested. Trust me, they're gonna watch. But a certain percentage, they may turn around and go, this guy's an over bargain. You don't want it too much of a bargain. You want a good deal. It was fair. He was reasonable. He's better than what's par for the course, and he's well worth the investment. Those are the words you want coming out of your clients for testimonials.
And then just to piggyback off that, just to kind of get into some languages, if I'm at an event like that and I'm around business owners, you guys want to hear a little bit more of this, or you guys have any?
Yeah, keep going, dude. Don't stop.
Cool. Yeah. So when I'm around business owners and like they start asking, let's say they get interested and they're like, but what about this? And they like, why don't I use hashtags on Facebook and I'll use hashtags on Instagram? By the way, the whole time I'm saying this, I'm have a shit-eating grin because I know they're gonna hire me. Like I'm laughing my ass off. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be so expensive for you. Like I'm saying shit like that. Then they're laughing with me. They think it's funny, I'm blowing their mind, and so they're like, oh shit, okay. So the magic word that I use, if they'll get to that point where where you kind of feel like they're trying to get a free consulting from you. And I'll say this, if you choose to engage me as a consultant, I'll say just like that. If you choose to engage me as a consultant, basically what you just did is you just crossed them over. Y'all guys were having like a little match and you just crossed them over. And he's like, damn,
That's like your boy juking out of the Cowboys, huh?
Ezekiel Elliott, yeah.
I had to do that. I know how much he loves the Cowboys. They're wonderful, I guess.
So yeah, those are the kinds of words that I would say around that, and I would just ask them about their business, like Mike said. Okay, tell me about your email marketing, and then what happens next? What happens next? If I click on that, what happens next? Where do I go there? What's the offer there? What's the follow-up offer? What's the upsell? Oh, you don't have upsells? What's wrong with you? you don't have upsells, you're missing out on at least $5,000 per customer. If you don't have upsells, you're missing out on $5,000 per customer right now. And not like, and then get the urgency behind that. Be like, oh shit. No, you got to talk to me. Like I believe with every fiber of my being and my bank account that if a business owner doesn't work with me, it is detrimental to their marketing campaign, especially if they are handling it. They are not anywhere near as skilled as I am, and I can provide so much more value to them, and I can handle that for them.
Go further, Frank. Actually, at that point, you are now detriment. It is a detriment to not have you. It's a detriment to their financial health of their whole business. Because if there's no marketing, there are no sales, there is no lifeblood for that business. All of the operations are worthless. If you can't pay your admin person if you ain't got somebody paying for the service. You can't pay for your fulfillment person if they're not getting new leads and new sales. It's not happening. You are absolutely imperative to the operation's health, financial health.
You're fighter pilots. I tell everybody, we are fighter pilots. We have what everybody wants. We bring money to businesses, and every business wants to work with me. And when you learn how to niche down, when you learn how to do the psychoanalysis, and you learn how to market any product to any business, when you are at those cocktail parties, that's why you see me suited and booted and my shit. I meet guys who have the right questions. You know, if I wasn't in business, I would have pictures of me smoking cigars, hanging out with girls. So other girls would send me messages, be like, Frank, I want to hang out with you. That's not the case. I want to attract business owners, and business owners are attracted to money. You got to speak their language. You got to talk to them how they want to be treated. So I start speaking their language. I start talking about money. And when they start getting to that point where you know they're interested, just going to let them know. I do offer consulting. You know, would you like to if you'd like to go to the next steps? Yeah, let's get your information. And I don't talk to them about price right then and there, because they're all they're going to want to talk about is price. And you're going to be
exactly.
And like you're at a social setting, be like, hey man, be cool. Like we're at a party. Just like call them out on it. Be like, cool, be cool. We're at a party. Like I'm gonna get to you. Don't worry. Like make a joke about it. Like don't worry. I'm gonna get back to you. And then put your hand on their shoulder and say, I'm expensive, and laugh your ass off. Laugh your fucking ass off, because he's gonna be thinking like, oh my God, I need this person in my business to work with me. I'm literally dying laughing when I'm doing this. And they're like, oh, he's having a great time, so he's got to be good, you know? Then when we have a conversation, I show them about the psychoanalysis. I talk about the Google review mining and all that other stuff. They just know, okay, this guy talks the talk. He's got the technical skill there. I like what he's doing. This is great. And no one has ever come to them about their marketing in that capacity.
No, and especially if you're taking it from the standpoint of humorous leisure, I guess is the term. When you're able to look at somebody and tell them, you know what, I'm expensive, and be able to laugh about it. Most people don't realize that, and I didn't really say this, I'm a certified business etiquette trainer. You realize that's $5.50 an hour. That's a 20-hour week. That's for business etiquette training, guys. Now, we're doing the same thing, and you're doing it for marketing. You can walk up to anybody. Here's the difference. I'm going to be expensive versus man, I'm expensive as hell, man. I'm not sure you're going to be able to afford me, but you know what? We can hang out. We can talk. It's cool. What's the difference? The difference in their mind is this guy's either crazy as F, or he knows something I don't, and I need him. And when you begin to get into the actual business talk later, they'll realize it's the latter. It won't be as hard. It won't be as hard to close it. It'll be a little easier. They'll have a little more understanding of what it meant to really have you.
And then even going deeper on that, now when you have that sales call, now we're going to sales, and we're past lead generation. So make sure you guys do the work every single day. I'm going to end here in just a bit. But now when you enter that sales conversation, your positioning is much more advantageous. Like they're very willing. And if you're not getting them to fill out those forms, when you approach them like that, they're going to be like, yeah, oh, this guy's got forms. I bet he's got forms, you know?
I need to fill this out. I got to get this done. This man knows something. I got to get some of this. This is guys, I don't know if any of you have ever read The Art of War by Sun Tzu. It talks about the different types of terrain that are advantageous and disadvantageous. What Frank just said there is in the way that you posture yourself. No one's really ever watched me walk into a room except Frank, and I think he witnessed it when he was here. I'm amicable in person, but when I walk into a room, I was taught years ago, you walk into a room, and I'm not sure if you guys understand that, but one of these days when you watch me walk into the room, you'll see what happens. You have to have that same kind of confidence. When you walk into a room, people's heads should be turning to figure out who you are. And the best part is no one knows, which is still advantageous. And the moment you position yourself, you have placed yourself on the hill with the sun at your back. No one can take you.
Wow.
That's some deep stuff, guys. And we're going to cover, I'm going to be bringing some more peeps to like cover some deeper stuff because we all need a lot more training in different areas. This was all about lead generation. And I want to stress that we can't get into any one of these at all unless we do the work every single day. So before we get off, I want to make sure that we thoroughly understand the level of work that needs to be put to get those kinds of results. What's up, Khalil?
Yeah. What do you think about Groupon for lead generation and walking into like walk-ins, like walking into a business to get leads? Or
yeah, what's up, Mike? Mike's got something for you. You there, Mike?
Two schools of thought on Groupon. Yeah, I'm here. Can you got me?
Yeah, we got you.
Am I still there?
Yeah, you're good.
There's two schools of thought on Groupon. Two schools of thought. One is if you don't have overhead as far as physical costs of goods, it could be great. Like as in a spa, med spa, massage therapy business, chiropractic, dentist, stuff like that. Groupon could be good. For restaurants, and this is coming from experience of watching what Groupon does, they can be absolutely detrimental if you have the wrong kind of cuisine. If you're doing Italian cuisine, you can do well, depending. If you have any other types of cuisine where your cost of goods is really high, which is most restaurants, Groupon can put you out of business.
Mike, I think Khalil was looking at as Groupon for lead generate. So Khalil, you're looking for people that have done offers and
Sorry.
Yeah.
Then at that point, absolutely, because now you're gonna not only you're gonna save them money, you're gonna make them 10 times as much because Groupon takes half of the profit and then takes another half.
Right. See, yeah, okay, cool. So that's good. That's good to know.
That's a great one, and that's an advanced strategy. And that's great that you're thinking like that. So yeah, anytime Groupon does an offer, reach out to those people and be like, yo, do you just get fucked by Groupon? They're like, man, I hate Groupon. Groupon, blah, blah, blah. Well, because here's what happens. So I've run a Groupon before, and here's exactly what happens. When people are on Groupon, Living Social, all the other ones, Daily Deal, when people sign up for a Groupon as a business, you get half of whatever they sell after payments or after credit card fees. And Groupon pays you in thirds overnight.
Oh, and you got to give half off.
And
so you're already losing half right out the gate. Then they take their half, and then the thirds and the fees.
Wow.
What you left with?
So if you're a business owner and you run a Groupon, and let's just make it easy, you sell $10,000. Well, Groupon will take half of that. They will pay you that remaining $5,000 in 33% of $5,000, so whatever that is, like $1,500, whatever. So they'll pay you $1,500 the first month, $1,500 on month 2, and then the other remaining balance on month 3. Yeah. So now that business has to fulfill all these people, and by the time month 3 hits around, they probably lost money, and the people that are doing the Groupon are really shitty offers. So you can go to them and say, okay, did you like the traffic? They're like, yes, but I hated the people using these coupons. And I was like, well, you're using Groupon, and those are like the worst. All they want is the deal. That's all that they want. So of course you got that result. Would you like to run something similar to people that are a little bit more qualified? That same result. And
right.
And now they're picking up what you're putting down. If they're not, you can kind of basically say, yo, I'm not going to put this in front of cheap people. So let them know the kind of value that you can bring, and they're like, okay, cool. So that's great. And there's a million stuff like that. But at the end of the day, Khalil, what I really want to drive home is you got to take the action, man. Again, if you don't have enough leads, everybody here that doesn't have enough leads, you have no right to complain because you haven't done that effort. I promise you put that effort, you're going to have something crazy happen. You're going to have some great results happen to your business. And I'm not asking you guys to do it forever. I'm asking you guys to give me 30 days. I can't do it for you. I've given you all the strategies. You and I, on our individual calls, if that's a place where you're having challenges, we can talk about that and we can go through it together, and we'll record it for other people so they can see it. But if you're not taking the action, you won't get those trials. You won't get those campaigns.
Right. Okay. So basically what we're focusing on is Facebook ads.
That's what everybody wants. That's what sells. You got to sell people what they want.
Okay. Because I've seen that you had SEO there as well and so forth.
And I have email marketing, and
right.
then I have application development. That's just a template. Like, it goes up from there. Like, you can add more and more. I just don't want to overwhelm you guys, because when people first kind of get introduced to me, it's kind of like drinking from a fire hose. I mean, you guys are like, oh, there's a lot of good shit, but where do I start next? And that's why that email says, do this every single day.
Right. Okay.
Don't shy away if somebody looks. I mean, obviously, don't shy away. You guys all know this, but I mean, if somebody starts talking about something that's not in the realm, just okay. You know what? That's a great idea. I know I got somebody on my team that actually does that. Let me go consult with them and find out what we need to do for you. What have you done? Get back to asking questions.
Right.
Dig in until you know exactly what they've done, exactly what they have, and learn it all. Because the moment you come back to Frank, he's going to look at you and go, did they do this? I don't know. They didn't say it. They probably didn't.
I'll always have business owners ask me a question, and I'll say, I don't have enough information. Tell me more. I'll say that all the time. I don't have enough information. Tell me more. But hey, guys, we went for 2.5 hours. I got to rest my voice. I still got to do some other stuff. Thank you so much. If you have any more questions, please post up on the Facebook group. Let me know your feedback. Let me know if you'd like for us to cover some more stuff. Let me know if something was unclear. And if you haven't yet got that email, it's because our systems haven't accepted you or whatever. Thank you, Mike, for your support. And, we'll be seeing you guys out.
Thank you, guys.
Cool.